Ever thought how can you build your own website? When we look at a website, we often think about the finished product, but deep inside it, it requires a lot of specific process and a layered architecture. Hi, I'm Raven Gadayan, a third year information technology student here to talk about the website foundation. The foundation of a website is the underlying architecture that supports its purpose, usability, and growth. Just a skyscraper requires a deep concrete base to stay upright. A website requires a solid foundation so it doesn't break under high traffic, fail on mobile devices, or become impossible to manage. A website is created by layering three distinct foundational pillars. The workflow, this is where the process and how we build it. The structure, the skeleton, what is made of, what is made of. The style, the aesthetics, which tackles how it looks and feels. So let's talk one by one. A workflow refers to the actual day-to-day sequence of tasks and flow information between individuals and teams. A well-defined SDLC provides a structure for an efficient workflow, ensuring tasks are organized, responsibilities are clear, and the project stays on track. Team uses tools like Jira or GitHub to manage and visualize our specific workflows within the broader SDLC. We have this project about a barangay system where we have to follow our workflow, which is phase 1, planning and information gathering. This is a list of all the tasks that need to be completed in order to build a website. A task list is a detailed outline of the project that defines the project deadlines, team member responsibilities, and stakeholder roles in approving the design. Before the file was created in the GitHub repo, we decided what is the purpose. In the barangay system project, the workflow likely began by identifying the requirements for a barangay system assignment. This includes the choosing of tech stack, which is HTML and CSS, and mapping out what the pages are needed. Phase 2, designing the blueprint. Throughout the project, our team will maintain a collection of files containing all designs for the website. Workflow involves creating a visual guide. We use tools like Figma, but you can even use a simple pen and paper sketches to decide where the header goes before we write a single divider tag. In the barangay system project, we decided that the structure and style during this phase to ensure the layout would be professional. Phase 3, development, the coding phase. This is where the GitHub repository comes alive. The workflow here follows a specific loop. We write the code, then we save it locally. Then next, we commit it to GitHub using save snapshot of the progress with a message like initial commit or added resume layout. And then next would be the push to send those files in the GitHub cloud. And also, GitHub have this evidence where you have the commit history of that repo, where you can see the timeline of how the project was built piece by piece. This is a workflow in action. Then phase 4, testing and quality assurance. A testing plan describes how and when your team intends to test site features, functionality, and where it includes both manual and automated tests. It's also a professional workflow includes checking for bugs. In the barangay system project, this involves opening the index file in a browser like Microsoft Edge and checking if the images load or if the text is aligned correctly. If it's broken, the workflow loops back to development phase to fix the code. Phase 5, the final step, the deployment. This document outlines the steps needed to launch the website. It, it includes who will be responsible for the launching phase, the deadlines for moving forward, and the resources involved in going live with the website. For this specific project, the workflow concludes using Git pages. Where the code moves in private environment to public environment where the end user can use it. Using a website workflow help our work be organized and track the progress focusing on what's important. It outlines each steps for my team that makes the journey to creating a site helpful. It helps clients understand the process involved and who is responsible for each step. Next, structure. Structure is where we move from planning phase into an actual skeleton of the digital building. In the web development, structure is synonymous with HTML or hypertext markup language. The structure should also define the semantics or meaning of the content in a machine readable way, which is vital for accessibility, search engine optimization, and making use of built-in features browsers provide for content to work optimally. This module covers the basics of language before looking at key areas as document structures, links, lists, forms, and more. When we look at our project, we used semantic elements using tags that describes their purpose. For example, header for the top navigation, then main for the unique content of the page, footer for the bottom links, section and article for organizing information. Inside the root of our barangay system, we will find an index HTML file. In a professional workflow, the naming of this file is structural law. Browsers look for index.html as the entry point of their application. Inside the code, when you open that file, the structure likely follows the mandatory foundational pattern, which has this doc type HTML, which is the declaration that tells the browser this is a modern HTML5 document. The HTML tag. This is the root element that wraps all the content. Then we got the head tag, the brain of the structure. It contains metadata, titles, and links to styles that aren't visible to the user but are vital for the machine. The body tag. The body of the structure, where everything inside is what the user actually sees. In organizing our work, we use tags like H1 for the main title and the divider tag or the unordered list for the list of informations, creating a hierarchy. This is used to have a good structure, ensuring that even if it turned off all the colors and images, a user could still read the page and understand exactly what the content is about. The structure is most critical technical foundation of any web application. It transforms raw information into a meaningful digital architecture. In our project, the barangay system, We ensure that the results are built on foundation that is not only strong enough to support visual design but also flexible enough to evolve. For the aesthetics, the the made web application is usable and professional. The style, what makes it possible. The style, the style is the visual foundation of a web app. Styling is not just about choosing colors. It is about the layout, typography, and responsiveness. In a website structure, every element is considered box, which consists of content where text or images, padding, the space around the content inside the border, the edge surrounding the padding, and we have the margin outside the border that separates the element from the others. A, web style, a website style foundation must be flexible. We used systems like Flexbox and CSS Grid. These allow us to align items vertically or horizontally very easily, ensuring that the style foundation remains stable even the content changes. In the visual hierarchy and branding, style is where we establish good personality of the app. Using HTML tags, we apply specific fonts, font families, colors, and etc. A good style foundation uses colors and sizes to tell the user's eyes where to look first. In our project utilizes external style sheet. This is a foundational practice that separates the style from the structure, allowing us to overhaul the entire look of the application by editing a single CSS file without risking the integrity of the HTML skeleton. The style foundation also ensures that the web app is responsive. This means that the layout can be in desktop or in a phone that rearrange the visual elements so the site remains functional. The style is a functional foundation that users interact with. So there, the workflow, the structure, the style. Throughout this presentation, we have treated these not as independent steps, but as a unified foundation. Without a professional workflow, a project lacks the planning and version control necessary to survive the development process. Without a logical structure, the application has no skeletal integrity or accessibility. And without style, the application fails to provide usable or engaging experience for the human at the other side of the screen. Thank you for watching.